Can hidden food allergies make you gain weight and also crave food? Hello, I am Dr. Naras Bhat. I am a board-certified allergist as well as a weight loss specialist. With this unique qualification, I am able to approach the intricate problem of food allergy and food craving, and that is leading to weight gain. So what will you learn? How food allergy causes craving, what is leaky gut syndrome, how leaky gut affects your brain, and how dopamine and serotonin imbalance leads to weight gain, and how we test you for leaky gut, and how we treat you for leaky gut, and some special pills to control your pleasure and reward pathway such a way that you can lose weight. So when you have leaky gut, large food particles get absorbed into your intestine, and that leads to opioid-like chemical release that goes to your brain, and food craving and food addiction occurs. In the condition called leaky gut syndrome, instead of the tight junctions between your cells, you have much more gap. That is why we call it leaky gut. And larger particles of food, bacteria, and toxins enter through this gap in your intestine, and it goes to your bloodstream, produces the opioid-type substances as well as immune reaction. And to begin with, how did you get your leaky gut syndrome? That is because of some food intolerances, alcohol, stress, anti-inflammatory drugs such as Advil, aspirin, and so forth, antibiotics, candida, or choosing wrong kind of fat in your food such as trans fats and so forth. That leads to multiple food intolerances, and then the gut gets inflamed, and the leaky gut and inflammation talk to each other, leads to more leaky gut and more food intolerances. IgA antibodies produced against specific foods due to stress, infection, and then medications, antibiotics, and so forth. That leads to food allergy, intolerance, and change in your brain. In fact, this slide is given to us by Dr. Vajani, who tests for these IgA antibodies for foods. What is the connection between your gut and your brain? When you release those messengers due to the larger particles of food absorbed into your blood due to the leaky gut, those messengers go to the brain and they affect your brain neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin. The biology of food craving is based on the dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine is the reward chemical. The amount of dopamine released determines your level of reward. So the food becomes the stimulus to create that reward, and the cycle goes on, and you develop the reward and the food chain reaction. What is the role of serotonin? Serotonin controls your inclination to satisfy your craving. So the reward is the food, and the reward sensation is dopamine, and serotonin is the one that controls your drive towards the food. So how do we test for leaky gut? We test for it in your saliva, that is the IgA response to your food. We test in your urine to see how the leaky gut allows larger particles of food to enter your bloodstream that can be recovered in your urine. And then finally, we test it through your blood, the IgG antibody for the food. So how do we treat your leaky gut? We call it as 3 R's of fixing leaky gut. 1, we repair the mucous membrane with the mucilage and prebiotic fiber. 2, we reset the intestine at the tissue, cell, and molecular level. 3, we recolonize your gut with healthy bacteria. So how do we fix your brain neurotransmitters such as dopamine, acetylcholine, glutamate, and serotonin that affect your brain receptors, making you to crave the food and develop that food addiction syndrome? So we use supplements like Daxitrol or 5-HTP supplements to increase your brain serotonin level. Of course, we use prescription medication to change your brain neurotransmitter levels.